Who is man's best friend? Is it Jerry? Is it Susha? Or is it Herman Munster here? In this video, we're gonna go down to Wolfe's world. We're gonna visit with Jerry and Kagan, look at all of their favorite monitors. And then we're gonna come up here, we're gonna work on socializing our own croc monitor. Let's take a look.
So here's Alexander. He is a sulfur Asian water monitor, and I would say he's just about the friendliest one we have here. He's very tolerable of lots of interaction. He's a very good boy. And he's got that really brilliant blue tongue that is just really, really pretty. I think Alexander's been here about 3 years, right? 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I suppose.
He's about 4 or 5 years old. What's this toe doing? What are these toes up in the air for? What is that? Huh? So we use non-pressure treated wood for the shelving because this is where the animal is going to perch themselves most of the time. Hello, buddy. And we don't want them in contact with pressure treated. So that's just one more chemical we don't want them absorbing through their skin. The spaces between the wood like this help them not rot. So when it rains like it does in Florida and this gets wet, this is going to more easily dry out and not rot so quickly. That allows airflow.
Some of those shelves are 5, 6 years old and still good.
Yeah.
Andrew says I got too many monitors.
Oh, no.
You can never have too many monitors, right?
I don't know. We're the people to ask. Of course we're going to say no. Oh, he might use his ramp here like I was saying. We'll see if he does. He also might just plunk down to the ground. It's kind of hit or miss with Alexander. There he goes. Oh, he's giving us a perfect demonstration. Beautifully done, Alexander. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10, buddy. Hey, Sammy. So this is Sammy. I know we just had a thunderstorm. We're going to make sure it's all okay. Yeah, we're good. So Sammy is a black dragon. That is a morph of Asian water monitor that turns them jet black like this and gives them a very cool appearance. He's still got that blue tongue, just like Alexander. And we actually just finally figured out the other day that Sammy is in fact a male. We've been trying to figure it out for the longest time and just weren't 100% sure, but we finally figured it out. Yes, that you are a stinky boy, aren't you? Yes. Yes, you are. So Sammy actually came to us very recently. We've only had Sammy about 6 months or so.
Did it come this friendly?
Yeah, it was already pretty friendly. So Sammy comes from Sean Hong and Reese Hong. They did an awesome job socializing Sammy and making Sammy this friendly. What are you doing, Sammy? I don't want you climbing on my head, Sammy. And Sammy is a very good boy. I actually just let him walk the hallway for the first time the other day, so he knows the drill now. Now he wants to walk the hallway, but we're not doing that today, bud. Not today. We're going to go back into the enclosure. So this is Chuck. Chuck is a T-positive Asian water monitor. So that gives him a T-positive Asian water monitor means that he is an albino. That is a form of albino that causes him to have this beautiful coloration, this light coloration. T-negatives look a little different than T-positives, and T-positives have a little bit of ghost patterning on them. They're kind of like that brown coloration. You can still see the ocelli down their back, but the T-negatives look lighter than that. He's still a very handsome boy. He's got a little size to him. Here is Onyx, our beautiful male black throat monitor. Here you go, Onyx. Now don't jump straight off the shelf, buddy. We want to say hi to you a little bit. He's going through a good shed. Don't you do it. Oh, goodness. All right, there he goes. Yeah, he just wants to be out of the rain. But he just went through a good shed, so you can really see his beautiful ocelli going down his back. He's actually got quite a bit of color, even in some of these spots. He's got almost like little peach rings around there. He's a very good-looking guy. And
Is this a full-grown black throat?
Oh, and he's still growing. The fact that he's still shedding quite often means that he is still growing. As they grow bigger, they shed out. They grow bigger, they shed out. He's like, no rain for me today, thanks. Glacier here is a Cape-banded whitethroat, and that means he has a specific locality that actually darkens the blacks of his pattern and lightens the whites. So our female tundra here and our female pebbles on the other side of this screen, those are both standard-looking whitethroats. That's how your normal whitethroat is going to look. The Cape-banded definitely gives them a more unique look, and I really love all of that white pattern. Our male Frosty is cooled down from the rain, so he's a little more gray right now, but Glacier here is still quite white.
Okay. So, Jerry, you want to talk a little bit about this hide here?
About our hide boxes?
I got to build hide boxes in all my enclosures.
Oh yeah, getting ready for winter preemptively, huh? This is actually a plan that is online. You can find from Jim Heck. I think they're coined Heck hides. He has different size hide boxes for different size monitors. This would be for his larger monitor off the dimensions I found online. I have a 1/2 inch floor. I believe on his plan there's a 3/4 inch floor, but I have mine sitting up on concrete slabs to elevate them in case we have any torrential rain, that the hide box is always elevated, so I don't ever have to worry about that. But it's, yeah, 1/2 inch pressure treated plywood floor, 3/4 inch pressure treated plywood lid, and that is a 2x12 wall. On the floor, so this efficiently with 2 layers of flaps, and the flaps I make out of a thicker pond material. We have them off in the summertime. The animals interact with us a lot better when we don't have the flaps on. So in the spring, we'll take those off and we'll put them back on in the fall. There's 2 layers. So basically a layer of flaps and then an 1.5 inch piece of wood and then another layer of flaps with the slits cut differently. So the slits don't line up. So if by chance a lizard goes in there and kind of leaves one flap cracked a little bit or misaligned, at least you have that other barrier to hold some of the heat in. And we only run the ZooMed habitat heaters on the top and bottom. We typically only run, in fact, this entire winter, I think we only ran the bottom ones. I don't believe, maybe 1 or 2 nights we turned on the tops. We don't turn on the lid heat mats until it's below 50. So,
and these are only 100-watt heaters, right?
40 watt.
40-watt heaters.
40 watt. And any animal that's ever been in the hide box on a night that's 30 degrees, totally fine the next day. We've had 0 issues with temperature with it all set up. And we have them wired into a sealed plug right there. And we have a smart switch running the whole series. So all of the lower mats are plugged into the same receptacle and all of the uppers are onto another one. So I can control all the lower heat mats via a timer. I could set it, to turn on a certain time, off a certain time. If we have a particularly warm night, I can just touch and turn it off. We don't need to spend the electricity on that. Or we can turn on the uppers whenever we see the temperature getting a certain way. Obviously, you could do it with the thermostat, but there's always variables, which is nice to have control yourself and over your phone in case you're out of town.
If we wanted to get a better look inside these boxes, we actually have one. The lid is unscrewed over there on the other aisle. So we'd be able to take the lid off, see how the heat mats are mounted in there and what it looks like on the inside. Okay. So that's with the heat lid, heat mat on top and on bottom. And then they end up being sandwiched between 2 heat sources when they're laying there.
I'm maybe a little colder than you. I always wanted I could experiment with having a little piece of insulation on the top too.
Sure, you could also decrease the distance from bottom to top. So with this height, this is a lot of airspace to keep warm when the animal might sit about here. So you could even decrease that height to insulate it even more with less air to warm.
Today we're gonna be using some quail here that my friend Jesse has produced and brought to us here at the zoo. This is probably pound for pound the most protein-packed prey item you can give your reptiles. So definitely consider switching to quail. Jesse here is gonna bring our croc monitor down for us.
This is a species of lizard that, as you know, you really don't want to take advantage of, or you don't want to become complacent with, because they have very large teeth, larger than the Komodo dragon, and they can do serious damage if you get bit. That being said, they're incredibly intelligent and very inquisitive, as you can see. Here, they're also the longest lizard on Earth, so 14 foot for a male is not unheard of. They're not the largest lizard by mass. They're arboreal, so they're a little bit more athletic than a robust monitor that's found on the ground.
Okay, he's coming over. Watch your step, Jesse. So we're going to the wall, and we do target train with this lizard, so we want to get him over to his station in order for us to feed him. So we're going down the back wall. Once he hits the ground, he's going to go very quick. All right, and that's his station. We've given him food this big, just not in the form of whole prey, you know, chicken thighs, for example. So he is more than capable. But part of this is he actually is enjoying the taste of it, you know. He's kind of trophying it, savoring it a little, trying to find the head and which way it'll slide down the quickest. You can see KJ just kind of petting him on the back and letting him know, like, look, we're not going to take your food, we're not going to catch you, we're not going to stress you out, mess with you, anything along those means. But this is just to basically build a trust with this lizard. And when we first started doing it, it was, you know, a couple seconds of running your finger down his back while he had his head turned, and now, you know, KJ's gotten it to the point where we can just stroke him all the way up to the back of his head almost and pet him there, and he doesn't feel the need to spit on us, react. And we stood up there, so he got a little antsy, but he's doing really well and allowing us to interact with him hands-on. And you always got to respect the boundaries still. He's still a very dangerous animal. His claws can just accidentally slice you open, not to mention the teeth. So we do this kind of thing every time we have a session. And then we start to do it as well when we come in here without food, just to let him know, like, look, every time we come in here doesn't mean that you're gonna get a meal. So now we've got another quail. Again, shout out to Jesse. He breeds these quail at his farm. They are the best feeder for your reptiles. Let's see the jump. Oh, so impressive. And we'll get him up to the feeding station. Scale the tree. Excellent. Very good. And then we just kind of continue to work the same thing. It's a slow, steady process, again, of just gaining that trust, and it's come such a long way, even just from when we got him, you know. He's looking to go head first here to swallow these bigger prey items. He's put on some good weight since we got him. You can keep working that descent, KJ. You can start to apply it heavier, wherever you feel comfortable, higher up. And then this is just, again, part of the process. And eventually we'll be able to come in here and, you know, there's no point in picking this lizard up. You know, we're certainly close to the point there if we decided we wanted to do that. But really just being able to come in here and put hands on him like this without him really even thinking twice about it is just a huge step. Look at those crazy feet. We want a descent on the feet.
We got the head.
Touch his toes, get him used to the toes. The back leg. The tail, the back, and you know, we try to do this to the entire lizard. And you saw KJ even basically petting him on the back of the head, so. Teeth are no joke. Not an animal you want to get bit by, so we do proceed with caution, and we understand the risk that we're taking when we put hands on a croc monitor. And next time we film with him, we'll try to just do some descents without having any food, just to show you how far this lizard really has come.
Well, like in every video, the first 2/3 is about reptiles, the last third is about plants, and today I'm going to show you my nursery. This is where it all started. This is what enabled me to start my reptile zoo. So what I do is I grow everything in these little 2-inch pots. I sell millions of these every year, and I grow just about every type of tropical plant you can think of. Foliage, carnivorous, ferns, moss, cactus, succulents, echeveria, haworthia, begonias, peperonia, trailing plants. We do bromeliads, we do tillandsias. We do fruit in 4-inch pots. One of the great things about growing everything in 2-inch pots is you can have so much variety. I love nepenthes, I love carnivorous plants. And I think we do about 10 different varieties of just nepenthes. And we sell them in these mixed trays, and it's really exciting for the customer. Same thing with philodendrons. We offer philodendrons in mixes. This is the white wizard. We got the painted lady. We got ring of fire. We got moonlight. We got red sun. And once again, they're really cool in a 2-inch pot. And you can get 6 varieties in a tray, and they come out really cool. We got sundews. We got pinwicula here. These really cute flowers. This is our ferns here. Now ferns we don't grow from scratch. We grow quite a bit from scratch, but we don't grow the ferns from scratch. We buy the ferns in. They're propagated by a fern specialist that works with the spores. But what we do is we make these mixed trays where we have 10, 15 types of ferns in a single tray. So if you want a little bit of everything, if you want button fern and ribbon fern and bird's nest fern and silver lace fern and holly fern and fantasy fern and heart fern and eyelash fern. And what we do, all those ferns I just mentioned, we put them all together and make a tray like this. We grow all different types of Rex begonias. We grow all different types of peperonias, all different types of Hoyas. This is a strings assortment where we have string of pearls, we got string of hearts, we got string of frogs. This is a cotyledon happy days. And we got string of turtles. I don't know where our turtles are. String of turtles. We grow a whole bunch of string of pearls, but we can't grow string of pearls very well in Florida in the summertime. So what we do is we grow the string of pearls from October through March. And it is now July, so that's why you have these big runners on here. So we'll let these runners sit on these pearls till October, November. Then we'll harvest these and we'll make more pearls out of them. And the pearls come both green and they come variegated. Now we are entering in our echeveria house. We have like 50 varieties of echeveria. We don't inventory them, but I know like if this bench is completely full, it holds 6,000 pots. So I know if we have 6,000 per bench and I got 30 benches of echeveria, that will be 180,000 echeveria. What we do is we mix different colors, we mix different textures. I don't know really what's on the bench, but long as I got a good assortment, all my employees can take what's on the bench and make a beautiful assortment. People ask me, what is my favorite echeveria? Maybe it's these. This is called Lovely Rose. And can you see it? It looks a little bit like a rose. Mm-hmm. This right here is a red agavoides, and these were grown from seed. And like one, I don't know, 10,000 seeds comes really red like this. That's after they select. First they select for the ones that look red, and then from the ones that look red, I don't know. I said 1 out of 10,000. Maybe it's 1 out of 1,000. But anyways, they stopped producing these because they just couldn't get good numbers. Some would come out green. Some would come out with the maroon with little hints of red. But this one came out solid red. I believe I bought it as Anteri. I don't know what I bought it as. I've had it here for several years. We sold most of them, but I kept a few. This is the bench where I evaluate new different Echeverias. If you look, every single one of these trays has a different Echeveria. And I'm looking for stuff that is new, that's different. And here's about 25 new varieties here that we've never had before. Do I have a favorite? I don't know. This one looks kind of neat. That one there is called Lovely Samba. This is the Echeveria that's going out Monday. It's hard for us to get great color in July. It's probably the worst month because right now it's probably 88 degrees and I'm dripping with humidity and it's 7:30 at night. But we still get pretty good color for July in Florida. We also grow these little 1-inch pots, which is kind of a cool thing. This can go on your windowsill. These are not miniature Echeverias or miniature succulents. These are just small cuttings we put in these little 1-inch pots, and we use water and we use fertilizer to control the growth. If you don't water it much and you don't fertilize it, the plants stay small. Now this is a tray of the 1-inch pot going out on Monday. Almost looks like chocolates at the candy store. This is one of our succulent beds. So what we do, we come here, we'll harvest these succulent cuttings. We'll take these, we'll harvest these. We'll put this in a 2-inch pot. It'll take several weeks to root, and then we can sell it. Then you can take these leaves. You see these leaves I just pulled off? We can use these leaves to make new babies. Check it out. Then I want to show, after we take the main tip, it encourages the plant to make new babies. So look at this. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we take one tip, then if we're lucky, we can get 6 new babies growing from the one. We can take the leaf, we can turn the leaf into babies. So we can produce lots of succulents here. So this right here is my cactus house. We grow 20, 30 varieties of cactus. And what we do is we sell things as assortments like most everything else. This here would be an example of our cactus tray. This is Ripsalis, or mistletoe cactus. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. We're one of the largest producers of this plant in the United States. So it's a good thing that we got our own niche. It's a bad thing that it's not in great demand, so there's not a need for a lot of people to be producing this. But we make about 50,000 of these every year. Once again, we sell everything in assortments. So you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different types of Ripsalis. And don't ask me to say their names. This is Haworthia. It's a different type of succulent. They sell this at Walmart. And at Walmart, sometimes they want a plant that you don't have to water in the store for 60, 90 days. And this is that plant, Haworthia. So this is a very rare Haworthia that I bought from a nursery called Sunshine Nursery. Oh my goodness, years and years ago. They came from China and they were selling all their Haworthia for like $1 a piece. Then they found out that this variegated Haworthia, and they found out that they were paying $1.50 a little unrooted plant from China. So they couldn't resell it wholesale for $1.50. So they made a deal with me. They said, Tom, buy out all of our Haworthia. It was like 30,000 Haworthia. And this here is the original stock. I've had this since before COVID, which we haven't propagated it. I'm telling you guys, I'm glad my employees propagated this right here. It's the wrong time of year to propagate. I'm a little nervous. I hope they don't die. I hope I don't show you in another video that it's all dried out and dead, because I really need them to propagate this in the cooler months. You know, we send some of this to India, and surprise, they did a great job propagating it. I try to buy a lot of plants in, but one plant we can't buy in is moss. These Seginella mosses, just nobody really produces them in mass anymore. This right here is my favorite. This is the ruby moss. And it has the brown on the top and it has the red underneath. And it's probably the most in-demand moss there is. I tried to tell the ladies to always have 2 benches and they don't quite ever do it. I can see here we got maybe a bench and 3/4. Peacock moss. It's a blue moss. Blue is a super cool color. And it grows really fast. So there's a trick to this. It takes a lot of work to do a good job in a 2-inch pot because they always want to grow into the pot next to it. But you just got to sell them as fast as you root them. A trick to rooting them is covering them. This is frost cloth. So what we do is we take the cuttings. You see here, these are just cuttings. They're little pieces. We put them in the soil. Then we put them underneath the frost cloth and then we cover it. 2-3 weeks. Then we take the cover off. Then we have another 2 to 3 weeks to sell them, and after that they grow into each other. This is golden moss, which doesn't look golden in the 90-degree heat, but you can see I can no longer sell this. It's just all one big mat. So we got to start again. You can still sell them on the edges, but once you get into the interior here, it's just one big mat. So we got to rework the whole bed. One more story for the entrepreneurs in the audience. This is Tradescanthia Pink Panther. I've been growing this since 2020, the beginning of COVID. They would sell this as a cutting. I bought this from Doom and Orange. They were ones that introduced it into the country. And they would sell the cuttings for 10 cents a piece. And they had 10,000 cuttings in a box, and they would not split the box. So one box, and it wasn't a very big box, it was smaller than a shoe box. The box was $1,000. I bought like 3 of them. And because it was so expensive, I was one of the few people buying them. This bed holds 6,000 pots. Now I'm selling them for $1 a pot because the newness of it is gone, everyone has it. But back in the day, 2020, 2021, 2022, I was selling this for $3. And 6,000 pots, $3 a piece, $18,000. I turned this bed 3 times. Now that's about my most successful story I can tell you. I have a lot of stories where I've made 0. But it all balances out. And if you're lucky, you can buy yourself a few reptiles. We will see you next week, and don't forget to like and subscribe.